The entire basis for my self-esteem was foundationally dependent upon whether or not my woman was happy. My self-image was inexorably bound up in my woman's opinion and approval of me.
Women bring out rage in you like nothing else. So it's like, what's that about?
I have no idea. It's like,
He's just looking, there's more women on that side of the table.
Help. You heard the question, help. Do I look like I have an answer for that?
After the slap heard around the world, sources close to him say, actor Will Smith will seek therapy to explore unresolved issues pertaining to his outburst at the Oscar Awards ceremony. Oddly enough, as we see in the previous video, Mr. Will Smith touched on this in his memoir entitled Book, Will. A source also close to a Mr. Mark Manson, whom co-wrote the 2021 memoir, says that Will was deeply triggered by Chris Rock's comments about his wife's condition and it took him back to a traumatic childhood. Mr. Will Smith touched on the exact point of clarity we pointed out in the last video, which was desire for approval from women. There is an old biblical proverb that states that an husband should love his wife, even as Christ also loved the church, and gave himself for her. And wives likewise, submit yourselves to your own husband, as to the Lord. The point of clarity is this. Although there are many different factors that contribute to how a husband and a wife relate to one another, there is only one right way. As we know, God has assigned special roles to a husband and a wife. And when those roles get compromised, confused, and/or misused, is when you see the evidence of dysfunction. Let's focus specifically on the designed role of the wife. Seeing that Mr. Will Smith, according to his own words, was compelled to please his wife in this instance. 1. She should be a helper to her husband. God has designed wives to help their husbands become all that God intends for them to be. 2. She should respect her husband. When you respect your husband, you reverence him, notice him, regard him, honor him, prefer him, and esteem him. It means valuing his opinion, admiring his wisdom and character, appreciating his commitment to you, and considering his needs and values. 3. Love her husband. A good description of the kind of love your husband needs is unconditional acceptance. In other words, accept your husband just as he is, an imperfect person. 4. Submit to the leadership of your husband. Submission does not mean women are inferior to men in some way. It does not mean women lose their identity and become non-persons. And it does not mean that submission will lead to or should lead to abuse. Another misconception is that submission means blind obedience on the part of the woman. She can give no input to her husband, question nothing. What it does mean is to submit to his leadership as he submits to the leadership of God. What it all boils down to is this. Do you trust your husband's leadership? Is he following God? Can you help him? Because you're called to. This short video is in no way covering the totality of this subject matter, but is only a brief synopsis. Let's continue to pray for Mr. and Mrs. Will and Jada Smith, that they will learn, accept, and apply the God-given designed roles of husband and wife to their marriage.